Hey everybody, it is an absolutely beautiful Sunday afternoon, and I thought we would take a quick tour of the yard while we've got some flowers blooming and some sun shining. I don't want to make this a long tour. I know I say that every time and then it winds up being a long tour. But today I just want to focus on some of the flowers that are blooming. It is pretty much high summer, and we've got just about peak bloomage going on right now. You can see all of these echinacea or purple cone flowers. Those really vibrant flowers back there are cosmos. We'll get up to the top tier and we'll look at some of the bee balm that's opening. We've got a couple different varieties of bee balm up there. We've got some salvia down there blooming, those red flowers. Lots and lots of phlox that are going to be opening very soon. Again, we're not quite at peak flower, but we're getting really close. So these phlox right here in front of us have already begun blooming. So we're getting a few of them. Of course, the orange daylilies are in full swing. Those are what I think of as the roadside orange. When we moved out here, there was just the previous owners of this house had planted just a million of them everywhere, and so we've still got them all over the place. The butterfly bush is getting ready, or I should say one of our butterfly bushes. There's another one back there. We've got several butterfly bushes. They're getting ready to go pretty soon. Of course, our potted plants are all looking good. The tiger lilies that I keep talking about are developing their flower buds, but they're still a ways off. So these phlox are blooming. These are phlox right here that are starting to bloom. All of these little solid green hostas, and we've got millions of them, they are all very close to opening and blooming, and when they do, we'll have just spikes of flowers everywhere. If you can see all these flower spikes in there, they're all going to be opening up within the next few days. All those red flowers up there are bee balm, and then of course the hydrangeas blooming. Let's see if we can see some of these pretty daylilies. I'm going to have to climb up in here a little bit to get a good look at them. That is almost like thick and cushiony. It's a really, really neat flower for a daylily. And then of course these are the bee balm. Again, we'll see these all over the place. They look like little fireworks going off. They're awesome, and they smell amazing. The plant itself actually smells good. The plant is a balm. Let's try to get out of here without falling over backwards. The yellow flowers are coreopsis. They've been and done and gone. I'm surprised we're seeing more flowers from them. Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe we just saw some early flowers before, because that's all coreopsis right there in full bloom. So these are all of the hosta flower heads we were looking at just a minute ago, and some of them are starting to go. That's what they're going to look like when they actually open and flower. And I guess once we get down to this end where they're getting a little more sun, you can see they're starting to open. All of those are a different variety of hosta. I guess these taller ones are the same, and they're blooming. And we've got them all over here. We'll get to those. Well, we're right here. Let's have a look at these so I don't have to come back up this way. These lilies are all blooming. Not sure where we got these or what variety they are, but they're a pretty lily. And of course we got more daylilies. We have some of our new lilies, daylilies that is, that are opening over here. These are awesome. Look at the size of that thing. Really happy about that one. And then this is a completely new one. This is the first season we've had these open, and that is awesome. I'm really excited about this one. Again, thick, almost pillowy petals on it. It's almost like really, really, really soft leather. Really interesting plant. And you can see we've got some of the big flower buds back there that are all new ones. Haven't seen those yet. And then of course we get back into our roadside orange over here. Actually, you know what? These probably are not the roadside orange. If they were, they'd be blooming right now with all the others. So these might be something different that we planted over here. So We'll have to look forward to see what that is. More of the roadside orange. Really like this geranium too. It's got really dark foliage, and the flower is a really dark red for geranium. It's an interesting one. Got those daylilies blooming right now. Got these. I think this is the same as what we just went up onto the top of the hill and looked at up there. I think that's the same lily. And then of course we've got hostas down here blooming. We've got another butterfly bush that's not quite there yet. And today is worth walking down the driveway, or maybe we'll just come back up the driveway. This is probably going to be a longer tour than I was anticipating, but there's something worth showing everybody in the driveway. So let's actually just cut right across here. There's nothing really worth looking at up top, except just a different angle of the view looking down on the garden. So I do want to go up to the top side of this bed. I want to get a closer look at the gooseneck loosestrife, which is what this is. And that's all this stuff is going to be doing that pretty soon. We've got more of these tall white lilies, which again, not really sure where they came from. More of the loosestrife. And this is like our raspberry colored bee balm. We've got the regular red stuff. Look who it is. I hear you. Where are you? I see you up there. He's up there somewhere. There he is. Meow. You coming to say hi? You coming to say hi? You'll be in the video again? So you can clearly see the difference between the standard red bee balm. That big one right there in the sun looks awesome. They really do look like little fireworks going off. And then we have these that are this sort of raspberry color. So I'm really happy about that. I like them a lot. So let's get out of here without falling down. What are you doing? You gonna come with us? Come on. Come on. We're leaving. I guess he's gonna stay there. You know he's gonna follow us over here in a minute. So this bed has got a lot of our astilbe that were close to blooming in my last yard tour are now blooming. And this chocolate astilbe has a really interesting looking flower. I'm not sure whether it didn't quite turn out right or if it's supposed to be that almost brown color, but it looks like it has hints of pink in there in certain places, but the rest of it just seems like it never really changed color. It just turned brown almost. So I guess that's what it's supposed to look like. You can see this hosta's getting brutalized by the sun. Oh, he's not going to follow us over, but he is going to roll around in the... Where is he? He's over there somewhere. There he is. So these hostas are getting beat up by all this sun beating down on them all day. But they usually do okay. They've been here for years. This will still be up here. Looks fantastic. Now it's a little bit of a breezy day today, but you get the idea. So a lot of the hostas in here are going to be blooming soon. Obviously the big ones already are. These flower spikes are up. These are blooming. They're all over the place. So we've got more still being bloom there. These likewise never really developed. They just kind of turned brown after the flowers came up, so I'm not really sure whether bugs got to them or what the deal with that was. Those look really good. And then of course more hostas and more hostas, and we got lots and lots of hostas. And oh, now I'm starting to see it up here too. Unless my wife has been out here deadheading, we've got deer damage. It's only very, very minimal right here, but we're going to see more in a few minutes. And if you're not familiar, I have a company that I spray deer repellent. That's what I do for a living, is take care of other people's gardens and make sure the deer don't munch on them. And we have never had a problem here at our property, but this year is like the worst year I've ever seen around here for deer. We're just getting slammed, and now it's actually so bad that even out here we're starting to get damage from the deer. So we'll see that in a few more minutes. That autumn fern looks really good. I really like that. And our dead nettles that we didn't even plant, these are just wild, natural dead nettles. They're all going down into the woods. We're still trying to decide where we're going to officially sort of end the bottom of the garden down here. You can see we got hostas and stuff as far down as that. Our toad lily is a new plant. That just bloomed. That almost looks like some sort of wild natural orchid or something. Really neat looking plant there. And we've got the same little microhostas. Some of the microhostas are flowering right now. Those are some that are almost ready to flower. These actually are flowering now. And these are all, you can see, full grown. These are microhostas, tiny little things. Really like this one. This one's called Wee. And you can see all those curly edged leaves, I'm assuming is why it's called that. We have this new Astilbe that does not look good. Don't know what happened to it. We planted it, we've been keeping it watered in, but it just looks like it's getting cooked. Now mind you, we've been having temperatures in the mid to upper 90s for the last week or so, so possibly just transplant shock coupled with pure heat. Whether there's moisture in the soil or not, you can still cook a plant, and so that's possible what's been going on. Maybe we just picked a bad time to plant it, I don't know. These are really pretty too, with more Astilbes. So that's pretty much it as far as this garden goes. You can see we got more daylilies planted up there. Not sure where he's going. Looks like he sees something in there. I don't know, but for a cat, crawling around underneath hosta like that is like paradise. It must be like caves and tunnels. Ah, that's what he sees. Little Princess Sassafras was up there somewhere. I didn't even see her. She's been out here with us too, apparently. Hiding in the hostas. A cheeky little girl. I see you. You gonna come out? You gonna show everybody how pretty you are? She is definitely not nearly as outgoing as Squeaker is. So we'll leave her to it. Get on with the video. I know, I see you. Everybody sees you. Meow. Alright, so we are just now going to go straight to the driveway. Down through my little secret path I made. And this is actually sort of a problem too. We never had this down here before. And we had a tree fall and take down the fence, which, I got no need for a fence, so I never worried about it. But when I actually cleared the area out to put in this path, and we had some tree work done, and we wanted the guy to have access to the property, so we left this open down here. And the deer apparently have figured out that they too can just come straight up this little path and right into the yard, whereas they never did before. And so now we're starting to get deer damage, and you can see right there, that's some fairly significant deer damage. But, ouch, it's Sunday, or I would check the mail. You can see what a gorgeous day it is out today. I'm going to try to get on the kayak in a little while once the afternoon breeze dies down a little bit. So if we come up the driveway, You'll notice some little odds and ends, deer damage going on in there if you really start looking close. But then when you get up here, look at those hostas. Looks like somebody's been at them with a weed whacker. And that is deer damage. This looks like it could be some of the people that call me in desperation wanting me to come out and save their property before the deer remove everything. So for the first time ever, I had to spray my own property today. I came down here this morning, put my backpack on and sprayed away. So if you were actually standing here with me right now, you would smell the lovely, lovely stink of my deer repellent, as I do. Look at that. Halfway up our driveway, and we're seeing that. So fortunately they haven't made it up to here yet, and you can see all the flower spikes are still there. Oh, spoke too soon. See, all these have been munched off. A few of the more bold of the deer came up. I mean, we're literally right here at the house. Now, of course, I live out in a fairly rural area where my customers are mostly in fairly suburban areas, and the result is they have deer literally eating potted plants off their front porches. So we usually don't have deer pressure like that. This is the first time ever we've been getting deer damage in the yard at all. So hopefully we'll be out on that a little bit later, putting those to good use. All right, everybody, wasn't too bad, and we got in all the good stuff that I wanted to have a look at, although we can finish it up by looking at these are some type of impatient. I always think of them as wild impatiens. I've heard them called lady slippers, but there's other plants called lady slippers, so I don't want to confuse them. Can never remember the name that they typically go by, but they're a really pretty flower, and they get these little seed pods on them. When you squeeze them, they pop and the seeds go everywhere, and they are a prolific reseeder, so I always spread them around. And my wife doesn't like them very much, but I spread them everywhere. We've tried to compromise. I don't spread them around as much as I used to, but we still do get plenty of them. These are the rudbeckia that I have in the basement. If you'll remember, or if you've seen the little video, I've got that little box with the 2700K light on it, and I was growing some outdoors plants. That's what they look like when they grow out in the sun, or what passes for full sun here at our yard. So that's Black-Eyed Susan. That is the Maryland state flower. It's officially called rudbeckia or rudbeckia. I'm not exactly sure how that's pronounced. It's hard to pronounce without the E in the middle, rudbeckia. And it looks like these planters probably could use a good watering before I get out for the afternoon. So let's go have a look at these. This is our mobile planter. That's an old wheelbarrow. We can roll around and move where we want. That is Lady in Red salvia that will hopefully be putting out some flowers here fairly soon. This thing is amazing looking by the end of the summer. It's enormous and just covered in red flowers, and we can move it around. Meow and meow. Yeah, we definitely need to get out here and water some of these potted plants. They still look good, but they definitely look like they need water. And I am worried about my cactus there. I've had that cactus since I was in my early 20s. I was camping down with a friend of mine way down upon the Suwannee River, and I brought that cactus home and threw it in a planter, and I've been carrying it around with me and moving it and throwing it in different pots and planters over the years, and all these decades I've had that prickly pear cactus. It used to flower, but as you can see, it's super neglected at this point, and I need to do something about that and replant that cactus. That is actually a sentimental flower for me. Catnip needs to be watered. Just some more random pretty potted plants, Christmas cactus, that sort of thing. More catnip that also needs to be watered. And finally, we will have a look at a hanging petunia. All right, everybody. I'm going to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that impromptu look around the yard on a Sunday afternoon. Maybe this afternoon we'll get some video out on the kayak, catching some fish. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, this one is my yard tour playlist. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you real soon in the next one.